Oh yeah, Dylan, we need a short video. Selfie video for a RC Racing TV news item.
Yeah, haven't gotten to that. Just saw your message. So yeah.
I need to do my do you have cameras?
Yes.
I need to do mine. I'll do it so that I'll film myself and then show the screen. So if we could get a few people at least with cameras here, it would be better. And who wants to tell me to shut up? Because I was thinking to like do what I like say what I say, and then someone just yells like "Shut up, JQ" or something like that.
I can gladly fill that in for you if you want, JQ.
Yeah, but well, what is that? What do people in Australia say?
There's too many kids here. I can't use the middle word.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, shut the front door, but it's not front.
Okay. Any of the youth drivers want to take this honor? Or do we give it to Tim? Okay. Don't call me a teacher. Coach, I can just about accept. But I do enjoy this new role, and we're off to a good start. What do you think?
Shut up, Jake. You.
No, you said it too early.
Oh.
First, I want some positivity, right? Like, yeah.
Right.
And then someone says it, okay?
This is what I get all the time.
I really felt that one, though. I really felt that one. That was really good. I like the energy, okay? Don't call me a teacher. I can just about accept coach. But I do enjoy this new role, and we're off to a good start. What do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shut up, Jake. You.
Hey! So how do we do this? Maybe in age order. Oldest first, right? So
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Oldest first. Oldest goes first. And what I would like to know is just a short summary of the race. So the event itself and your experience, how the car was, the best changes and those kind of things. Who is oldest actually?
Me.
Okay.
So obviously started Wednesday, got a lot of rain, so we didn't get too much running. But I started with your DNC setup and felt pretty close from the start. Then yeah, through Thursday, car was okay. Obviously changed tires as well. That was probably the main improvement, but car felt good from the start all the way through to the end. Obviously made a few changes, going up in diff slightly. Went up in rear shock oil. Did play with the rear arm. I did go to the middle, and then I went back out.
Front springs, you changed.
Yeah, I did change a few things on the EP. But yeah, the car felt good the whole way through. Just trying stuff. I've only really had one day on the car before this event, so
Yeah. So for the finals, the track changed a bit from qualifying. It was more rough or dry, or how was it different?
It was rougher and dry, so it became very dusty, especially in the main.
Okay. Did you feel that you needed to change something on the car, or it was still good?
I liked how, like, in the main, it was good. Obviously, a lot of people were complaining about their car in the bumps, and mine wasn't perfect, but I don't know how much of that is you just need to pick your lines and drive to the car. I don't think you can make the car feel perfect through everything, every single bump on the track.
So overall, it was pretty good first big race, I would say, for you. Nothing major. No. Just a tire thing.
Yeah.
We'll deal with that.
Just a small tire problem.
Okay, we'll deal with that later. So Ryan. Is he here?
Yep, I'm here.
What's your sort of quick summary of the event? Made the main
We
in
turned up on
Nitro.
Wednesday morning. We turned up on Wednesday morning. Got a few practice runs in before it started to pour down. And then probably we got 2 practice runs at the end of the day. Car was feeling okay. Not the greatest, not where I needed it to be yet. But we went on to Thursday, coming with a good mindset, knowing some things we needed to change. But it felt like car almost got worse. So we had to chat to you and my mentor about setup changes, and we got the car getting better. Came Friday, qualifying. My first 2 rounds were, I wouldn't say horrid, but not the greatest, driving-wise and car-wise. So for the last qualifiers, we decided to change stuff. We changed to your DNC setup, like what Jaden was running, basically. And got the car feeling much better than what it was. Getting me in at 8th, was it?
Yeah, no.
An 8th in Q3. Spent off day good on Friday, sorry. And then came Saturday where we had one last qualifier, Q4. Just try to drive consistent lines. Change the disc that qualifier actually from 15-15-10 to 10-15-10. And that just made the car a lot easier to drive, having the same front and rear disc. It was very nice and easy drive. It's got me a 7th in that round. And then that got me a 10th overall so far for qualifying in Nitro. And then we went on Sunday. Car felt good in the warm-up. I think Dad said I was about in the middle of the pack pace-wise. So feeling good. Changed the disc to 20-25-20 as they suggested from JQ, and they felt okay. But we started to trust JQ in the final, and it didn't really work out for us, let's just say much. I think the track just got a little bit too dusty and the disc might have been too high. But yeah, overall it was a pretty good weekend. We got the car feeling a lot better by the end. And yeah, I suppose 11th isn't too bad for a first event for me, for first international YMP event. So I guess I'll take it.
Okay, and then Dylan's summary. Your home track, right?
Yeah, home track. Had I think about 2 meetings on the cars before Wednesday, and yeah, coming into Wednesday, I felt like I had a pretty good setup. Wednesday got 2 runs on the nitro buggy, and then poured down with rain middle of the day, and we didn't get any more running that day. And then yeah, Friday we started qualifying. Went into qualifying with some expectations for myself. And yeah, after Q1 and e-buggy, I got a 3rd, so I was happy with that. And then I had another good run in Nitro, I think, in Q3. That was another 3rd at the end of the day. And for that run, we put your rear end on from DNC. Just made it a little bit more locked in and wasn't all squirrely everywhere. And then yeah, going into the finals, I was starting 7th in both. And yeah, I finished 7th in e-buggy, so was where I qualified, so sort of happy with that. And then Nitro main, I got off to a good start. Was sitting in the top 3 for I think the first 2-3 laps. And then yeah, fell back to I think about 7th or 8th, and then worked my way back up. And then finished with a 5th. So first international meeting with the Mayakos, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with a 5th at ABC.
Are you more happy with the 5th or more happy that you beat your brother?
More happy that I finished with a 5th, probably.
Are you sure?
The-
Both are
Logan-
really good though.
Yeah, Logan was on pace to win, but then he had a fuel line split, so yeah.
It all counts. Anyway, thank you for those summaries. I was actually, I have to admit, I was positively surprised. I didn't expect that all of you would make the main in Nitro, and almost all of you, 2 out of 3 in electric too. There were no bump ups, right, in electric?
Nah, no bump ups in electric.
That's a shame.
Yeah, they were triple mains for e-buggy.
Yeah. And then to have Jaden win, I mean, that was unexpected. No offense. I didn't expect first race that a Mayako driver would win, and 2 in the top 5, 3 in the main. That's a really, really stellar result. Did not expect that. So I was really happy about that. And then all 3 of you had at least some of my DNC setup. So I was thinking, why not make the setup sheet now? So Jaden's setup, for example. So we document it so we don't forget. And this is something that's really good to do, because at the race and after the race, you remember everything and you kind of assume that you will remember, but then you go to another race and then you've already forgotten the details of the setup or the things that you learned at the race. So I'll share the DNC setup, for example, as a base, and then we can make changes to that to see what was actually run.
I just sent you my setup that I ended with.
Okay. We can do it here together also. And then another thing that I like to do, which I recommend that you start doing for yourself, is keeping notes. So I just do it on my phone, but I think you don't have to use your phone. You can use a real notebook and a pen, or you can use some kind of app or whatever. Just a way to write down quick notes about things that you've tried or learned. So each race that you go to, maybe you have a problem and then you solve the problem somehow. You changed from one tire to another, or you changed your defoils, or whatever it is. So don't assume that you'll remember. For example, Dylan, you mentioned that how your car started, it was okay. Then you switched over to the DNC rear end setup, and then you said that the car was easier to drive, not so squirrely, right? So what were the changes, and what did you feel? That's a really good note to write down. I was running this, then I changed to this, and it was a lot better. And Ryan mentioned that he had a diff setup, was it 15, 15, 10, and then went to 10, 15, 10. Was that it?
Yeah.
And then that also improved the car a lot. So that's another note. Going from this diff setup to this diff setup, this is what I felt. This is how it was better. If you start keeping notes like that, it's really going to help you down the road, because 6 months from now, you can review those notes, and when you read them, then you remember, at least, unless you are all far more intelligent and have better memories than me, then you might just remember everything. But I think for most people, unless we write it down, unless we keep notes, we will forget. So that's something I recommend that you do. So not just a setup sheet, but also some personal notes. Let's go through this together. What's the track called, by the way?
Counties RC Club.
It was about 20 degrees, or how warm was it?
24.
24, yeah. Mid 20s.
Yeah, 22, 25, I think. And I think the highest we got up to was about 27.
Okay. We'll just put 25 then. What plug did you use and pipe?
Me,
Yeah.
the standard Causetech pipe and P4 plug.
Before.
Gold.
Mayako clutch. 3 1.0s.
Yep.
For that track, I would have probably run the 2 1.0, 1.9. It's a bit smoother clutch feeling. Do you know your runtime?
I ran 840 in the warm up.
You don't know when you ran out?
That was
Yeah,
840. Oh, you
840.
ran out at 840?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in the practice. Okay.
Yeah.
And diffs? 2015?
Yeah, 2015.
You had the long chassis?
Yep.
43 gearing. You had these same pistons?
Yeah, the same as your, yeah.
The AE rears.
Yeah, we had the AE rears. They were 15.8 mil.
Yeah. The shock was in the middle, link, middle, and long. Front arm was in the middle also. The front arm setting, this is good for steering. So if you need more steering, you can move the front arm back. And some tracks, if the car is difficult to drive, if you feel like it's too aggressive, too nervous, you can move the front arm forward also. Had the universal. Same KPI 0.5, Caster 2. Have any of you tried KPI 1 and KPI 0.5?
I tried KPI 1, Caster 1 on the 24 Nitro car that I had, but that was a while ago.
Not back to back.
Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't back-to-backed it.
Yeah, it's really good thing to try because the car drives so differently. So if you prefer KPI 1, then you'll notice it. Like it'll be a clear difference. If you prefer 0.5, you'll notice. So it's worth trying. Then for the bump steer, you had a 1 mil shim. No diff shim in the front, 0-0. This is quite standard. 0-0 on the front always works on all tracks, and no shim always works. When you add a front diff shim, the front end is a bit more responsive and stays more flat. So, for example, the Philippines, or now this weekend you're going to an oil track in Australia, right?
Yeah.
On a track like that, a diff shim in the front could work, but it does make the front end more aggressive. So no front shim is always the smoothest. Then for the rear, shock was in the middle on the tower.
Or was it one in?
What?
You can set up Jay there.
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah,
one in.
it's on the shim. And towing, you had the same as me. Also no shim. I would say for the rear, Philippine Masters, or then this track that you're going to now, 1 mil shim in the rear will be better.
Yeah, that's what we were gonna start low front, middle rear.
Yeah, it just on power the car is more stable.
That's what it said on the wiki for high grip edgy track. So
yeah. Then the rear hub setting is also the same. Did Dylan and Ryan, did you run the 94 universal in the rear?
Yeah, I think I ended up on the 94 for the rear end.
It's
I don't think I did.
I'm sorry?
I don't think so. I don't think I did, no.
I think Ryan is still on CBs, maybe.
No, not in the rear. I think Uni's in the rear.
Oh,
I'm just trying to remember what they are. Maybe they are
Okay,
94.
You can check later. Anyway, the 91 has the most initial grip. So it when you get on power, you feel like you have instant traction. But that's because it makes the rear end a bit more stiff. So it's not as good in bumps. And then the 94 is more forgiving. So let's say on this track that you just had the race on, the 94 could feel smoother around the track. Like it handles the bumps nicer, and it doesn't. So the car doesn't surprise you as much. But then, let's say I think on the back of the track you had a section where you sort of drive towards yourself. Then there's an off camber left, and then you accelerate down the off camber, and you turn right onto the back straight, and you're on power. Am I correct?
yeah.
Yeah. So that sort of section with a 94, you do the off camber, everything's real nice. Then when you get on power, you go down the off camber, maybe the car wants to squat a bit. Then you turn left, it wants to squat to the other side. So those 94s, they don't support the car as much. So on power, driving through corners like that, maybe the car would roll more. And that means that if you run the 91 or the 94, you might need a slightly different setup on the car. So that could mean that maybe you need a harder rear spring with a 94, or you stand up the rear shocks on the tower, or you raise the lower arm on the inside. All of those things make the rear end stiffer. So on power, you have more support. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. And it's a really good adjustment also, changing the universal. And both can be as good. It's more a preference thing. I would say that Robert and Thibaut, they always preferred the 91. And Ronefalk pretty much always preferred the 94. So you know that those drivers are fast and they just have a different preference. So that's something for you also to test more so you understand which one you prefer. And then you have to make the setup around that universal. Did you check droop, or you ran the? You did run the same.
Yeah, I think we were. What were we?
It's the same on the sheet.
One different on. I think the front we were 0.
I don't know what's happening. There we go. You were 0 on the front.
Yeah, on the front.
You had that engine forward. It says on the sheet.
Yeah.
Have you tried that for front and back and compared?
Not back to back, black, and actually tested it. No.
Okay, that's another setting that's quite powerful. You wouldn't think it. It's only 2 mil, but you should try it. Definitely changes how the car drives. JQ tires. I didn't know Extreme have a Lexan wing. That's the Matrix brand.
Yeah.
That we no longer use.
Oh, you need an ultimate wing. Is Tim here? What do you think of the floating servo mount?
That was the first time I've tried it, and obviously with no practice, I didn't get to test it. But yeah.
Okay. And the wing position, where did you have the wing? Was it attached to the gearbox or completely on the tower?
It was completely on the tower.
Yeah.
On the lower set of holes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's there. Any other notes that could be added here?
I think we might have had 5 mil hexes on the front. Not. I think it says 4 mil. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's
the
because
sheet is
our-
4 front and rear.
Yeah. Is that what you ran at DNT?
I had 4 front, 5 rear.
Okay. That doesn't look like 4.
No, we didn't have 4 on the front.
Yeah, we have 5 on the front.
And the rear?
4.
Okay. Yep. Okay, that's it, I think. And how close were the setups then of Dylan and Ryan for the final? You started off a bit different, but did you all then end up pretty much the same?
Not that I know of.
What differences were there? Do you know? The universal in the rear, Ryan's diff oils. Dylan, did you have the same diff oils?
I was running 15, 15, 10, I'm pretty sure in the end.
Okay. So you could try this diff setup also when you go back to the track.
Yep.
15, 20, 15. How about the shocks?
I was running TRC valve pistons. So they
Which ones?
let me just have a look.
They were the standard TRC valve pistons, just the 5+1 in the front and the 6-hole +2 in the rear.
Is that the slower Toya?
I'm the faster toy, mate. You know?
How'd you got beat?
I was in the rear, I was running 6 by 1.2 and then 2 by 1.2. And then in the front, I was running 5 by 1.35 plus 1 by 1.35 flat.
So the valve or the flap, you run it so it's on top of the piston, I assume.
Yeah, so the valve, so the front piston was a 6-hole 135 with the flap on the bottom, and the rear piston was a 3-hole 135, 3-hole 145 with 2 1.1 mil holes with the valve on the top.
Okay, so front is below, rear is above. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. I have to try these. I haven't tried them yet. They look good.
Just like what I found is that it would like let each end of the car move around by itself. Like it would, when you would land, it would drive like it would be more smoother on power.
They're from America or where? Oh no, from Europe somewhere.
Belgium.
Yeah, Belgium.
Belgium. Okay. So you preferred them over normal pistons. I have to try.
Yeah.
Need to get some of these. Okay. Anything else that was different?
You didn't run the long chassis, did you?
Yeah, I was running the short chassis and was Ryan on the outside for his arm and hub.
He ran the normal arms and plastic hub.
Oh, so yeah, I had the adjustable and I was on the outside for that. On the front end, I had 0.5 up on the A plate and 0.5 and then middle on the B plate.
So quite close, I would say.
And then I was also running KPI 0.5 caster 2.
Yeah. Okay. So when is your next race in New Zealand?
New Zealand.
Or are you going somewhere? I saw the slower Toya is going to Silver State.
Yeah, Logan's going to Silver State.
Whoa!
Well, you do have a worse car, so can forgive you.
Oh, yeah.
That tire bill's increasing, Jaden.
Yeah, the next race. When's your next race?
Um,
I think it's about 3 weeks away at
yes.
counties again.
Yeah, so in 2.5 weeks I got another meeting at counties.
Okay. The track will stay the same?
Yeah, track will stay the same, and I might go to Bay of Plenty, which is like a super loose and rough track. So there my car was probably the fastest out of all of them.
Okay.
All the different ones.
So maybe for that next race, especially since it's on the same track, we can try a few of these changes.
Yeah.
Diffs, for example, and maybe some other things to see if you can improve the car even more, be more consistent. What do you say?
Yeah, definitely.
And then even if your brother doesn't have an issue, maybe you can still take him down. That's the goal.
That's the
Right?
goal by the end of the year.
Oh well, we'll have to make it happen sooner than that. I believe in you. I think this was a sign. And then the Australians, Team Australia, you have a race now this weekend.
Yeah.
And it's an oil track.
Yeah, it's my home track.
Okay. So you have a different starting point for that track for the setup?
It's like I'm sort of starting fairly close to the Philippines start setup. Obviously, I've only had one day of running at this track, but the car felt good. So I'll sort of start somewhere, not anything too far one way, just sort of in the middle and then go from there.
Yeah, I will.
Practice Friday from 12 till 5, so open practice.
I got lots of tires to try. So.
Yeah.
So where are you starting with your diffs? What do we call it?
I ran.
Your stock oils. It's going to be a bit cooler than what's the word for it? Than Philippine Masters.
I ran 50, 150 last time I was there, and it probably felt like it was too high. And then I went to the outside on the arm, the same as what we ran in New Zealand, and then the diff setup felt fine because of the way that it changed the car. So I'll probably start there again. I think the grip will be higher now for a big event. And then shock oils, I'll probably stay about the same as what I ran in New Zealand as well. 700, 650.
Yeah. And do you have different pistons also to try for that track? That's one thing that
I ran 8-hole 1.12, 1.3 last time I was there. The ultimate pistons.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it will be interesting to see how close it is to this Philippine Masters recommended starting setup. Also, did you run the wide C&D block?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Have any of you tried VRC yet? Video game?
I've been too busy. We've had like 4
real racing.
This is the 3rd week in a row of 4 back-to-backs. So.
Okay.
On road or off road?
On road, but either really.
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of off road, but not that much.
That way faster than Logan.
What do you run? Which class and track?
Either I don't really have a specific one that I'm usually run nitro, and then on a track like Barco or what else? Or like one of the Barco or Silver 3 normally.
Yeah, I haven't really got off-road to feel sort of at all realistic. I don't know if you have to put some random setup on the car or something, but I don't get it to work right.
Yeah, we've
You
been
feel
doing
it's-
the 12 scale on road.
Yeah.
It's been pretty. Oliver more than me. I gave up because he's far better than me, so I stopped. But yeah, he's pretty good. That Bangkok long track that you recommended is pretty tricky.
Yeah, I think it's good practice, and it has a similar feel to real racing, and also it teaches you to be patient, or slow is fast.
Absolutely,
So,
and the smoothness is the key. It's amazing.
yeah, because
it can be smooth.
it's the same in reality, where often when you slow down a bit and you almost feel like you're going too slow, but you carry your corner speed, that's going to be your fastest lap. And then when you start to try and go faster and push more, you go a bit slower. And then, at least for 12 scale on road, it's that same thing in the game, where you try to push and you actually often end up going a bit slower. And then you calm down a bit, slow down, carry your corner speed, and then that's the fastest lap. So to find that feeling of driving and do it 8 minutes in a row is really hard.
Yeah, we've had like a target of getting 10 laps in a row under a certain time, and not stopping until you get 10 in a row that same time. It's good. It is good. You can see the benefit in it.
Okay, that's good. And here over the next week or two, we'll set some goals, figure out what good prizes would be, and then really sort of start tracking progress. And maybe Pekko can organize some live racing online too.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, that's really all that I had now. Do you have any questions or things you want to discuss?
One question. Obviously, okay. Ryan's not running the adjustable arms or the 3-piece hub. So how does his rear end setup compare to mine?
The adjustable arm long setting is same as the non-adjustable arm.
Okay.
And then the plastic hub is same as low axle height.
Yeah.
And for the link, I think it's really close to long middle row. So with the CNC hubs, your link is higher on the hub.
Yeah.
And we usually run the middle axle height. So I think that the CNC hub is a really good option part to get, because you get adjustability and also you can run that middle axle height, and it frees up the car a bit. It doesn't catch bumps as much, and it seems to do better really everywhere. So I would say that the CNC hubs are worth getting. You don't need the 3-piece hub, but there's also that sort of standard CNC hub with carbon plates.
I think we've got them that Ryan could put on if he wants them. So then they're basically the same as what we're running.
Yeah.
For this weekend.
Yeah.
Mate, we'll never say no to anything free.
No one
since you offered it, that means that if Ryan breaks it, we don't have to replace it.
Okay, well, at the Philippine Masters, I'll punch you in the kidney for free. Okay. You said you'll never say no to anything free, so.
Also another thing, would it be a good idea to buy the long chassis and the floating
Floating steering servo?
the steering servo plate?
I think so, yes. That
And I run the carbon stiffener on the back as well.
You ran
And
it?
also
Yeah, I ran the plate at the back on the chassis.
Okay.
one thing I also broke last weekend was a rare shock tower. One of the carbon
Which one?
Carbon.
How did you do that? Or where did it break?
Wasn't it on the light train?
It was I was going through the 8-pack and I landed on the rear end of the car, and it's like snapped just above the diff case.
Was it a tower with holes in it? Or was it solid carbon?
I think it was solid carbon.
Okay.
It's whatever comes on the limited
Yeah,
edition.
it was an LE
Okay.
kit.
Yeah, it's solid. Okay. Because before we used to break them, but we had holes in the tower, so we made it solid. I haven't seen one break since then, so congratulations. now, now we know they can break. Was the wing mount completely on the tower, or also on the gearbox with the lower screws? Completely on the tower? Okay. That's something to keep in mind. That can happen now. So your first question, for the floating steering servo, I think definitely you should get it, because how the track was, it was bumpy and there were rocks and it was edgy. I think it will smooth out the car. So you should definitely get that. For the chassis, that's again a preference thing. Ronefalk didn't like it. He ran the short chassis. Robert always ran the long one. So both can be good. You don't have to get it, but yeah, it's a preference thing.
So yeah, snapped right on the top of where the insert goes for the tower.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. And
Did that-
also for like rougher tracks, would you still recommend the floating servo?
Yeah, I would say especially for rougher tracks, because when you drive into bumps, it doesn't affect the steering. So let's say you're going through a corner and there's bumps in the corner, the car will keep turning without getting unsettled. So that's something I think if you drive and then you put that on, you should notice a difference. And when you do get those parts, then that's how I would recommend that you try it. Don't put it on at home. Drive on the track so you know how the car is handling, and then put it on and then see the difference.
Yeah. And yeah, that broken shock tower happened in the middle of A3, so but
That's why it's still on there.
I still finished.
Oh, you did finish. Okay, good.
I guess all the shocks was holding it on.
You busted my wing up though, mate.
Yeah, I did. I busted the.
I did the whole weekend on one wing. I give him to it first run, busted.
Not just one
Just
car.
a little bit.
I was swapping between two cars.
Show
same
the wing. You have the wing there?
Okay. Let me turn off my blur. No.
It doesn't look.
I don't know if you can see that.
It's got a big crease through it. You
Yeah.
did a pretty good
Right,
job.
right there.
Yeah.
And the back fin has a crease in it as well.
What do you mean?
It does. It was bent in.
Jaden ran that on 2 cars the whole event, and you used it once.
Come on, mate.
Next time we'll give it to Logan.
Oh, he's got JC ones. So
Yeah, but Logan goes so much slower that it will be safe.
Yeah, maybe he could use one.
hey, I had the second fastest lap time in the main.
There we go.
Without the Lexan wing, mate.
Huh?
In the nitro, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't run the Lexan wing.
True.
Could have gone
Who
faster.
who had the fastest lap time?
Caleb.
Right.
I think. Oh.
Caleb.
Caleb did.
Oh. I thought
Yeah.
oh.
No, Caleb did a 32.2, I think.
Yeah, and I did like a 32.3 or 32.4. But yeah. The
No,
fastest lap
Philippe.
was like a 31.6 in e-buggy. That was Q1, smooth track, and in the morning as well.
No.
Yeah, it was.
No. Caleb went faster anyway. You did a 31.6 in Q3.
I did a 31.7 on like in Q4, I think. One of them. Come on, man.
Good for you.
That's right. You whole lap me in the nitro main, so.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Jaden,
you still.
the Jaden won. So.
Yeah, so it's fair.
It 1-1.
Yeah.
You get the whole lap, I get the win there.
Yeah. So Mayako got the win, and they had the second fastest lap of the race. So
I think Marco was the most.
What do you mean
chassis
negative?
manufacturers in the final.
Yeah, it was. Everything
With
else only had
three
two.
Marcos, everyone else only had two. So there was a couple of A's and a couple of HBs.
Yeah, so there was two HBs,
One Techno, two S Works.
one WIRC.
Oh yeah.
Was there one or two AEs in the main?
It was two. It was Kyle and who else?
No, just one.
Just one.
No Kyosho Mugen.
Nah.
One Mugen.
Oh yeah, Christian Lowe's. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think he was the only Mugen there at the whole event.
Bump from the C main.
C main
The
today.
bump from the C main got into the A main.
And X-ray.
No X-ray through it. Oh
There
no,
was- there was
there
X-rays there,
There's
but
some
not in the
New Zealand team X-ray guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So no Philippe Masters for the Toyas.
Sadly not.
Sadly not. But Ryan and Jennen will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Maybe next year.
Hopefully we'll see you at Worlds next year.
Worlds. Thornhill.
Yeah.
Is it confirmed now?
That's what I've heard, that it's at Thornhill. I haven't seen anything official, but I've heard it.
Yeah,
I've heard that it's going to be there.
It's either Thornhill or Silver Dollar.
Yeah, and there was it was the LCRC or what's the one track?
HRCR posted about
Yeah,
it.
HRCR.
Yeah, they had a bid and Silver Dollar and Thornhill. But I heard that it was going to Thornhill, which I don't know. I don't like that so much, but Ongaro will like it. It's going to be his style of track, so.
Rifkin will like it.
Yeah, an 8-scale track that he can do well at. Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I will let you go. It's bedtime, right? Dylan, for you, it's bedtime at least. That's why.
It's getting closer.
Yeah, that's why I had to get up early today.
Yeah, it's 8
times. Yeah, time zone is what, 11 hours ahead. Yeah. Okay. So I will post the previous meetings and this one today. So then we are up to date. All the archives are up. And we keep in touch now for your Was it state titles?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, I think the next big race will be Silver State and Philippine Masters. Yeah. Back to back.
Oh, so you're going straight from Silver State to Philippines?
Yep, we'll fly straight from America there. And lose a day. Actually, you want to hear something funny? I'm not going to get older this year. I'm missing my birthday because my birthday is the 29th of April. We leave the 28th of April from California. We fly west. We land the 30th of April. And so the 29th of April will be a few hours in the air somewhere. Yeah. True
Make
story.
the most of those few hours, mate.
Yeah, because we leave 28th at night, late at night.
Crazy.
So a bit after takeoff, I'll just get a really short birthday. And,
20,
and then it's going to...
2022, when we went to Worlds in Phoenix at Hobby Action, I had 2 Father's Days.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Because it was Father's Day when we left home, and then, yeah, Father's Day when we landed in America. So, yeah, I actually had 2 Father's Days on that year.
Might be able to join the Mile High Half Club.
Mile High Club.
Sneaky trip into the toilet.
Well, we'll have 15 hours to figure that out or something. It's a long flight.
Plenty of time.
Rebuild the car on the plane.
Done that before.
Back in the day, you could do that. You could actually have tools and everything on the plane. Not anymore.
Bit harder these days.
Yeah.
Just sit there reading the Invisible Speed book.
That's a great idea. That's a really good idea. You know, I actually do sometimes read it, and I'm like, fuck, this book is actually good. Oh, yeah. I wrote it. I should know this. But I remind myself of things by reading it.
That's basically your personal notes.
Yeah, that's my notes. I printed my notes into a book. So that's the goal. That's the goal, Dylan. Now, from now on, start keeping notes. Okay?
Yeah.
Have you ever written down a note in your life about something about the car?
I actually have.
You have? Good. What did you write?
We did when we started Nitro as well. All the little things that went wrong. So I had a checklist before every main because, yeah, obviously starting out, we learned the hard way. Jaden had the speed, but just the little things, clutch bearings, glow plugs, just those little things, and yeah, going over the car. All of those things were in a list in the front of a book that I'd pull out before every main. And since I've got them in my head, I think Jaden's finished the last 6 or 8 45 plus finals in a row, so we haven't had a failure or a DNF in the last 8. So obviously I'm doing something right, but yeah, at the same time, those little checklists are huge when you're new and when you're fresh into Nitro, which obviously, yeah, the DNFs are the hardest ones because it's always what if. But yeah.
Okay, so that could be a good place to start next time. Let's compare notes. So next time we'll go over these checklists and notes that you have, and we can even post them then, just to make it easier for people, so everyone doesn't have to go through the same learning curve. How about that?
That was, obviously spotted Ryan swapping an air filter before the main on Sunday, and I said, don't do that because and you might agree or disagree, but I've been told that air filters continually build up and then the tune adjusts as it clogs up. And if you start with a fresh one, your tune will be different, everything, and then it will clog up throughout a 45-minute main. So obviously we don't change air filters throughout the whole weekend, even though it was dusty. The air filter's not I wouldn't say it's clogged because we didn't run a cover on it or anything, but at the same time, yeah, Ryan was changing his, and I just said, look, I wouldn't, and yeah, obviously they didn't have any issues with runtime or flameouts or engine tune, but yeah, those little things that, yeah, obviously that's how I was taught anyway. I used to change it because I like the look of a fresh air filter before a main and whatever, but yeah, I don't know, do you agree with that, JQ, or not?
I think for air filter you can change, but you should have the same filter with the same oil, and so you prepare them together, and then it's okay to change.
Yeah. Okay.
I think if it does get clogged up, then the tune will change. So, I mean, if it's a dusty track and you leave it on for too long,
it was really dusty there, so that's why I said
then
probably
that could be an issue. So then I would change it actually more often in that case.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, but you can have issues with changing an air filter. For example, if the oil is different or too thick, it can change the tune of the engine. So at least if you do change, then you have consistently the same ones to replace with.
Yeah,
I think.
Agreed.
Okay. Oh yeah. So Dylan, what was the note that you wrote down? You said that you have actually had notes, kept notes.
Well, I don't think it was for the marker cars, but when I started, I would just like write down how the car felt and what I thought needed to be changed. And then took it to Logan, because then I just asked him, "Oh, should I do this? Should I do that?" And I still do that, but just not as often. And yeah, then we would go from there, because he had been on the HB for about a year before I went on to HB. So yeah.
Have you actually changed much of your setups, Dylan? Or you sort of planted in one sort of setup, and then you may change a little bit of camber or something? Or have you got a standard setup that you change much, or you're pretty much standard, except for ride heights and stuff like that? And you too, Jaden.
Yeah, normally I would have like a default like low grip, medium grip, and a high grip setup, and then if I needed to make little changes, then I would make those and see if that made it better or worse.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, I don't normally make any major changes at big events like ABC and stuff. I would always do that.
Yeah, that's sort of kind of what I mean. You sort of look at the track and rightio, you say, rightio, I'm going to pick this setup. You know, if that one seems to work, you don't really change it. You usually stick with the same setup, and you'll tinker a little bit here and there just to give yourself a little bit more steer, depending on it's dusty, depending on it's really, really hard packed. Just do those little changes from a standard.
With setup, you also have to like do it around what tires you're running, because mostly we're running at Counties, we're mostly running a JC Falcon, which is like a V-cut tire.
Or Matrix.
Most of my stuff is just built around that to make it fit that tire and how that tire works.
Yeah. Now, well, 90% is tire, isn't it, really? 80 to 90% is the tire. Setup's the rest, and the driver as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, I haven't got the car yet, so I'm just wondering, like, from a standard setup, like, I'm probably going to follow JQ's one from DNC to effect and go from there. But I just wanted to know how many sort of changes people done from a standard setup. You know, because I watched everyone at the AOC and everyone's driving was pretty smooth and all that type of stuff. So I was just wondering, you know, how far away from a standard setup are we?
I think the stock setup that I posted recently, it's a really good starting point, and it's a bit different to the DNC one because it uses all the standard parts. So
Okay,
you
I
can
haven't
see-
seen that one as yet.
Yeah, I can link it here in the chat.
Is that
We-
that
we-
meeting setup that you have on the wiki?
Yeah, that's the one. So I redid them because I wanted to be sure that when someone just gets the car and only has all the stock parts, they can build a car with a setup that's going to work for them. And I made two different ones because you do need a different setup. For example, if your home track is an oiled track like Philippine Masters, for example, or if Counties is your home track, then it doesn't make sense to run the same settings. You definitely need different diffs.
Oh yeah,
and,
oil and dirt is completely different
yeah,
kettle
and,
of fish, you know.
Yeah, you need a few changes, but they are quite similar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post a link in chat here. Hopefully you see that. So yeah, just on that page in the wiki, you have the latest setup sheets. Next month we'll continue with the meetings. We'll go over notes, keeping notes, and then also the first setup changes and setup homework and more VRC stuff. So until then, communicate in Discord.
Just wondering when will that next meeting be? Just because next week from Thursday to Sunday, I'm at my 10th Nationals.
It's in a month away.
Next month, but before Silver State. When is Silver State? Silver State's 24 to 27, I think. Probably the week before that. So somewhere like maybe like the 17th of April, something like that.
Okay, yep.
Or 10th or 17th.
Okay.
So
Just a question.
Yeah.
What's the time there now, JQ?
Here
Because
it's
I
coming.
completely stuffed up the hour transfer because like I thought it was going to be around about 8 o'clock and then found out it was like 6:30 and I've already missed how much of this meeting?
It's over now. When did you join?
I'm realising that as we're sort of speaking.
I mean,
I'm going, oh, geez, here we
it's
go.
coming to 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. here.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
what time-
recorded.
Okay. Yeah,
It's recorded,
I've
yeah. I'll
been
post
watching
it.
the other ones. Yeah, I caught up with meeting 2 and that last night so that I could sort of work out what was happening tonight. So just trying to
Yeah.
work out when to get on so that I'm doing it at the right time instead of being fashionably late.
Yeah, if you go on Discord and the meeting invite, it should show the time in your local time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't notice that as well. I'm still trying to get the grips with everything like Wiki and Discord and all that type of stuff. As it is, I was only signed up really yesterday, so
Yeah, and if
still
I
working
write
my
the
way through
time,
everything.
if I write a time, it's Helsinki time, so you can just
Go from there.
check whatever the time is in Helsinki.
Yep.
Okay.
No dramas.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
See you next time.
Thanks.
See ya. Thanks,
Yeah.
JQ.
Thank you.
See you, boys.
ya.
Bye bye.
See ya.